the Watchers, the Witches, and the turning of time. Before there were laws, before there were systems, before there were names for things, there was a simple problem. The world moved too fast. Events did not wait for understanding. Decisions were made before all voices had spoken. Outcomes arrived before their causes were fully seen. And those who moved quickly were rewarded. Those who paused were left behind. So people learned to choose early. They learned to call uncertainty danger. They learned to call doubt weakness. They learned to call relief truth. And the world hardened around those choices. There were always some who saw it differently. They were called many things across time. Seers, oracles, witches, prophets, madmen, heretics, not because they saw the future, but because they saw the present before it finished becoming itself. They did not see one story. They saw many, all at once. They felt fear before the blow was struck. They felt silence before the command was given. They felt the narrowing long before the door closed. And because they spoke too early, they were never believed. Most minds move like footsteps. One thought, then another, then another. This is how people survive. But some minds move like weather. Pressure builds in many places at once. Currents collide. Invisible forces shape visible outcomes. These minds do not travel between perspectives. They inhabit them simultaneously. The hunter, the prey, the witness, the ruler, the one who cannot speak, the one who will decide anyway. All present, all active, all pulling. This is not empathy. Empathy feels with. This is possession without belief, simulation without loyalty, seeing without choosing. These minds learned early that certainty is dangerous because certainty ends motion. When a story hardens, paths disappear. When a judgment forms, alternatives die. When an answer arrives too soon, the future collapses. So they learn to resist closure. They tore their own thoughts apart. They argued against themselves. They doubted what felt obvious. They reopened what others wanted sealed. And the world named this resistance. It called it obsession. It called it anxiety. It called it disorder. It called it instability. And when fear needed a body, it called it witchcraft. So they were exiled, silenced, burned, not because they were wrong, but because they delayed certainty. In a world addicted to relief, across history, people built myths to carry what they could not hold directly. They spoke of watchers who saw all pass, of witches who read the wind before the storm, of wizards who stood outside the court, of trials where answers came too early and doomed the hero. These stories were not lies. They were containers, ways to say something important happens before we notice. Power speaks louder than truth. Relief feels like safety, but it isn't. Timing matters more than being right. But the stories froze. They became rules, then doctrines, then weapons. What once delayed certainty began enforcing it. Merlin was never the king. He did not rule. He did not command. Kings ruled in moments, Merlin watched in cycles. When certainty felt strongest, he asked questions that slowed it. When decisions felt inevitable, he reminded them that paths had already been closed. Not by fate, by timing. For most of history, wisdom required pilgrimage. You climbed the hill, you crossed the forest, you sought the witch, the hermit, the wizard. You left the noise behind, so you could see what it was doing to you. That made wisdom rare, dangerous, and easy to destroy. Fast Track Mineralysis was born from refusal. Refusal to let see and remain a curse. Refusal to let structure die inside one mind. Refusal to let stories harden before reality finished speaking. So Merlin moved. He did not disappear. He condensed. What once required distance now fits in your pocket, not as prophecy, not as command, but as interruption. Merlin the pocket wizard does not rule. He appears when everything feels obvious and asks what you stop seeing. He appears when relief arrives too quickly and asks what it cost. He appears when a story hardens and asks what is still unresolved. He carries the watcher's sight, the witch's timing, the wizard's distance, without requiring exile. Fast Track Mineralysis is the mechanism beneath the rope. It slows certainty. It keeps multiple paths alive. It prevents the world from collapsing into one story too soon. You do not need to believe. You do not need to follow. You do not need to climb the hill. You only need to pause when something feels obvious, a little too fast.